Let's go to Sochi now, where Paralympics are just kicking off, and they did over the weekend. The U.S. has already started racking up medals, including a bronze in women's standing downhill and a silver and bronze in sitting downhill. Meanwhile, Army veteran Oksana Masters finished fourth in the biathlon. Here's a quick look at the medals board. Russia is currently in the lead with a total of 24 medals. They also have the most gold and silver medal wins. In second and third place are Ukraine and the U.S., both with a total of 7 medals. They're followed by Canada, Japan, Austria, and France. For the latest from the center of the competition right now, let's go to Michael Kravenchko.
So 2 weeks ago, Russia made history by hosting its first ever Winter Olympics here in Sochi. Now it's the turn of the world's best Paralympians to shine at Russia's maiden Winter Paralympic Games at the Black Sea Resort. President Vladimir Putin got the games underway with a spectacular opening ceremony at a packed fish stadium on Friday. The main theme there was breaking the ice and featured a lot of song and dance, as well as, of course, lots of special effects and fireworks. Now, interesting to note was the ongoing theme was the journey of the Firebird, mythical Russian Firebird that signifies light and happiness, and ended with a large-scale Russian icebreaker named Mir, or Peace, that made its way across the stadium. Now, competitions started thick and fast on Saturday in biathlon and cross-country skiing, as well as round-robin games in wheelchair curling and sledge hockey. And Russia jumped straight to the top of the medal table and has now a whopping 24 medals in total, 7 of them gold. Their nearest rival, Germany, in second spot, only has 3 so far. And unfortunately, Team USA has yet to register a gold medal at the Games. They have won 3 silver and 4 bronze in alpine skiing and cross-country skiing. And of course, it is still early days and everything can still change. A big game to watch out for will be on Tuesday, the 11th of March, when USA take on Russia in sledge hockey. I'll remind you that Russia didn't even have a sledge hockey team 4 years ago, and now has come so far, taking 3rd place last year at the World Championships. Of course, USA is the reigning Olympic champion, so that'll be one to watch. And generally, the atmosphere here is just as it was during the Olympics. It's happy, it's great, there's a lot of buzz going around, people are really enjoying it, lots of people in the stadiums, and the Paralympians themselves are being pampered with a completely barrier-free environment that Sochi here has created for them. And that is, of course, key to the future legacy of Sochi, which I recently found out that would definitely be a benchmark for future. Back in July 2007, when Russia won the right to host this year's Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games, the Black Sea Resort of Sochi was effectively a greenfield site. Yet the lack of prior building work ultimately helped shape the end result we see today, as venues and infrastructure could be built from scratch and designed to be completely barrier-free, helping Sochi become not only a uniquely subtropical Winter Olympic venue, but also a purpose-built, disabled-friendly sporting city, which set a new standard for urban planners across Russia.
What happens here then gets spread over time in legacy to the rest of Russia. And why not? It's a great idea. But that's how it should be, accessibility for everybody. And then when you can go and do something, then your mind frees up and you think, hey, I can do far more with my life. I can decide a lot more about what I want to do with my life.
According to the Ministry of Health, 13 million Russians live with a disability, which is around 9% of the population. Although medical provisions were available under the Soviet Union, there's a nationwide legacy of buildings and public transport which lack lifts and step-free access, hindering the quality of life and opportunities for many people. This is why the government launched a multi-billion-dollar initiative in 2011 to improve healthcare, facilities and the education system for all Russians. And Sochi serves as a benchmark for the future, as a city and as a sporting venue.
For years, the problem was that if the sporting infrastructure was there wasn't any adequate housing. And if there was adequate housing, there wasn't any infrastructure. Here in Sochi, everything is concentrated together, which is the perfect model for future generations.
Sochi 2014 is the biggest Winter Paralympics in history. Over the course of 10 days, nearly 700 athletes from 45 countries will compete for 72 sets of medals over 5 sports. with para-snowboarding also making its debut. Russia's maiden games are also expected to set new levels in sporting achievement and social awareness, with the IPC expecting global TV audiences to exceed the 1.6 billion that tuned in to watch the Vancouver Paralympics 4 years ago.
People who will come to these games will see a new Russia. The myths about our country will be erased, and they won't meet any bears on the streets. Russia is a civilized country that cares about its citizens.
Russia passed its Olympic test with flying colors. Now the country's Paralympics could help its ongoing transformation towards a modern, barrier-free environment in every sense. As Canadian 2006 Olympic sledge hockey champion Paul Rosen says, "I think the Games will not only be great for the Russians, but for the entire world. Equality has finally come. A great athlete is now known as a great athlete." Michael Kravchenko, RT, Sochi.